let's move on and let's quickly talk about Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are Blue Jay fans, I know some of you out there are coming in here from Blue Jays today. You had the whole thing come out from Hector Gomez, kind of teasing the idea that the wait will soon be over for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Hector Gomez reposted this guy. This guy Hubble on X has been posting a video of Vladdy every day until he gets signed, so it's day 93 of him doing it. Hector Gomez quote tweeted that and said, the wait will soon be over. He's been kind of teasing the idea that he will be signed soon. If that's the case, as a Blue Jays fan, thank God. They needed to get this done. Everybody, most teams actually, when you get a generational talent, you usually lock them up.
Well, it's actually
do it.
Yeah, like it's very simple, right? Like this is a really good player. That's the best on the team, and he likes it here. So what are we doing?
Yeah, and
right?
you're a big market team too, because I know I said most teams lock them up. When you're a small market team, you tend
be
not
a bit harder,
to.
yeah.
It gets harder, right? Like the Nationals, and you're looking at the LA Angels with Ohtani. Granted, you did have the Cleveland Guardians lock up Jose Ramirez. You got to get it locked up and get it done. We have until February 17th, which is the last day of negotiations, until Vladdy actually shows up to spring training, which he said, that is my done. That is the negotiation window is closing then. So we have about, what is that?
11 days.
11 days.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to get done? Like, where are you kind of at right now?
Well, listen, Hector Gomez has been on it this offseason. Like, again, he is one of those individuals where you got to take it with a little bit of grain of salt. However, this offseason in particular, he is locked in. He is connected right now. So
he predicted Santander.
It instills me with a lot of confidence to see that, he believes it's going to happen. And I do think that just from a logic standpoint, like it's in everyone's best interest to do it. If I'm Vladimir Guerrero Jr., yes, I believe in myself. I saw what Juan Soto got, and I'm like, oh, I could do that. But there's also a little bit of doubt creeping in, too, because Alex Bregman's a pretty good baseball player. Pete Alonso's a pretty good baseball player. There's other guys that have been on the market where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna knock it out of the park in free agency. But if they're offering me $400 million right now, do I want to take the risk of getting injured? Do I want to take the risk of having a bad year? Do I want to, take the risk of going into a free agency and not knowing where I'm going to go? Right?
Yeah.
Like there are risks involved if you're Guerrero.
Because like the big advantage he has is his age.
That's it.
Like that's a great advantage to have, and that's what's going to make you lots of money. And I know like people kind of bring up the argument, like and you brought it up too, like. You looked at what happened with Pete Alonso, and that his best years are behind him. Guerrero's best years are in front of him. Yes, he's a first baseman with bad defense, same with Pete Alonso, but again, I'm not comparing Vladdy and Juan Soto, but it's hard not to when you're looking at what happened and their youth and their generational talents. Don't tell Ross Atkins that, but you look at the comparisons, and you're like, okay, well, this guy can get a pretty good, sizable deal because he has a youth. And plus, if Juan Soto doesn't have great defense either, they're basically going to make him a DH one day.
Right.
If that's the case with Vladdy, too, then that shouldn't really impact his market if he has a good year next year.
That's the thing, too, right? And we're not talking about just a good year. Like, I'm talking about a great year.
Yeah.
I think a good year, like, let's say that he puts up, if Guerrero finishes with a 830 OPS.
Right.
Like
that's a bit of a
like 30 home runs, a very like a good year.
Yeah,
like a good
yeah.
year. A $450 million year though?
Yeah, exactly. Then you start to have
like it's like like I need you if you want to get like more than like if you want to get close to $500 million, I need you to be top 3 in MVP.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I guess I'll describe it this way. I don't really know how to describe it any other way, but like this is like a phantom, unrestricted free agent year where it's like if he just signed his extension now with the Blue Jays, which he wants to, treat it like it's your free agency because like if you were to enter with these numbers, these are great numbers to enter into free agency. Why risk another season? Yeah, maybe you bet on yourself and you get even more money, but like if your team is offering you that mid $400 million that you are kind of projected around to get. Maybe get a little bit more if you risk it and have a great year, but just take it. Maybe have some opt-outs or some incentives.
I just think that if I'm Vladdy, like, again, like if Toronto is around 400 or, a little bit over that type thing, I personally think that there is more risk than reward in playing this year out. I think that there's more times than not. And you like, again, injury is obviously one thing, and that would be a big factor. But even if, you look at the last 3 years of Guerrero, if he does last year again, then he might get a bit more.
Maybe
But it's just a bit more.
Just a bit more.
You know?
50 million
Yeah,
more.
like,
you
and
know?
not that much, right? But if he does, 2023 or 2022, that's gonna hurt his
hurt
value, and that's gonna detract from it, right? I don't want to pay $400 million for a guy with a 700 something.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just no thank you, right? So if I'm Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I just think that there is way too much risk involved. If, of course, you have an offer that would make you the third highest paid player or something similar to the Mike Trout contract,
exactly.
right? If that's on the table right now, I just fucking take it. I'm happy. I'm set for life right now, and then I can only focus on playing baseball.
Yeah, and there's speculation out there that, look, if it is a 12-year deal and it has an opt-out after year 5 or 6, then, yeah, you could go test free agency when you're 30, 31. If you really wanted to, if you were popping off, maybe someone could give you an Aaron Judge contract for another $300 million after you've already made 200, 300, whatever it might be.
If you're on the Hall of Fame track at that point and you feel like you can get more, be my fucking guest, right? But
exactly.
I think it makes sense for both sides. I think that what we've been hearing is that the Toronto Blue Jays, they were immediately $100 million off.
Yeah.
And I think that they're getting a lot closer to that.
A lot closer.
I personally believe that if I'm Vladdy, I think a fair number right now for both sides is around that $400 million mark. I think that mitigates Vladdy's risk. I think it still indicates from a team standpoint that you are the guy that we're building around forever.
Right.
It makes him feel really, really good. I think across the board, that's where I would want to see them kind of meet in the middle there.
Yeah.
And I think it would still work out for both parties.
Absolutely. So, again, 11 more days, and maybe Vladdy will be a Blue Jay, and if he's not, then it's going to be one hell of an offseason.
Yeah, honestly, we were talking about this the other day, from a content creator standpoint, that's going to be extremely exciting because, we get to talk about Vladdy and his free agency, but from a fan standpoint,
terrible, just agony. It's gonna be.
It would not be good because, and that's the thing too. Even when he's playing well, let's say Guerrero, let's say he's not extended,
right,
and then Guerrero comes out and it's has no. Well, he could. That's another thing too.
I know.
Maybe he plays like shit.
I don't know what to do.
But then, or on the flip side of things, he hits 50 home runs.
Oh no!
And now it's oh fuck.
Everyone's backing up the Brinks
Steve
trucks.
Cohen is drooling. The Yankees are thinking we could get in the mix right here. All the big market squads are thinking let's do it.
Fuck.
It's there's no good outcome.
I know.
There's no good outcome.
I know, unless he signs an extension.
And then we're all
good and we could chill and then we could pop some bottles on Blue Jays today. I feel really good about it.
Exactly.